Disability is one of those unique things that is a bit universal in the sense that you know, you can have people with disabilities across all nationalities and socio-economic groups and that sort of thing. I usually put a thing on Facebook saying Happy International Day everyone, and then also I've had parties with my friends where we just get together and we watch disability films and have pizza and stuff. One year my friends decorated my door with stickers that say inaccessible, unacceptable, and so it looks kind of like a wheelchair army. I think it's important because a lot of the sort of reforms around disability are about sort of basic needs, which include things like the need to be social, the need to have employment and education, the need to have you know, sexual relationships, that kind of thing. You know, and so I think that, you know, that concept of basic need is not really acknowledged enough in Australia, and I think that Australia has has an economy that can definitely support people more than it does. Well, I guess high school for a lot of people with disabilities is still really challenging, just because, you know, teenagers are not always very accepting, but also a lot of people with disabilities don't have access to proper supports when they're at that stage of their life. I've had a lot of issues with carer agencies who told me that their carers were not allowed to do certain things, and like at the moment that's not a problem because my parents can step in, but at the end of the day that's not what I want kind of long term. I've had experiences with dating and stuff where people will sort of say, oh, I would go out with you, but, and there's always something that they're not really comfortable with in relation to my disability, and so you know, that's tricky, I guess. I've had sort of a few carers that have really challenged me to do things independently, which, you know, I didn't initiate, that they did, and so that was really important. You know, discovering that carers who are over 25 can drive me places, you know, has been a bit of a revelation. So unfortunately most of my carers are too young at the moment. As an artist, I do a bit of singing with a band, and I also write plays, and the one that I'm working on at the moment I'm performing in, but I've also directed a bit. I guess the reason it's important for me is that if you're an artist, like even without a disability, it's really important that you are able to be self-reliant and be able to travel. I think that what's got to change is, you know, there's this thing that people with disabilities are viewed as sort of perpetual children, you know, which means that we don't actually want, you know, higher education or, you know, various other things. So I think that really has to change. I would want people with disabilities to be seen as fun, as people who are fun and who have fun. I would want people with disabilities to be seen as potentially sexy.